So we are again live, a little late, but you know, as yesterday, today, always it's part of the live event, minor technical issues. So it's a great pleasure to have Atanas Yanakiev from Sappience with us. Hi, Atanas.
Hey everyone, nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, so you have just a small problem with your camera, but actually the most important thing is now that we are here, you're very clear and we see your presentation, which is actually the essence of our talk today. We touched upon some topics with your colleague Angel yesterday on the panel discussions about asset management, asset-intensive industries, your solution, and how you're helping companies to better maintain, monitor across all assets that they're within an enterprise. So I'd love to hear more from you about that. So I'm giving you the floor. I'm hiding myself from stage, but I will be there to hear if there anything related to technical issues.
Okay, thanks, Ivan. Hello, everyone. Sorry about you cannot see me.
No worries.
What you can see is the essential part, as Ivan mentioned. My name is Atanas. I'm the CTO of Sappience, and we are a young company dedicated.
Oh, sorry, I hid Atanas from stage instead of me. I'm bringing him back. Sorry. Hey, Atanas. Please unmute your mic. Yeah, sorry, exactly.
Yeah. Yes, okay.
So I hided you from stage instead of me. Yeah, you can continue. Really sorry.
One more try?
Yeah.
Let's go. Switching back to my presentation.
Perfect. Thank you.
As I said, the first two times I don't know if you heard. We are a young company dedicated to use a low-code platform to create our own products, and of course develop it, build upon it, and prove that it's possible. So how do we begin? I'll give you a brief description of the Power Platform, which is the platform we chose for various reasons to use. It's not the only low-code or no-code platform in the world, but it has certain advantages over the others. The Power Platform consists of a few modules. The first one is called the Power Apps themselves. There are basically two types of apps one can create: the so-called Canvas and the so-called model-driven. The Canvas is more suitable for mobile use and focus on certain tasks, and the model-driven is a lot more flexible and a lot better to use for company-wise and enterprise data management. The Power Automate, so-called, it was called Flow. Maybe some of you know it as from before. It's the automation tool. It's very flexible. It helps us do automated tasks that before people needed to do themselves, and it's just click and point things that now we eliminate and the system does in the background for you. The Power BI is the BI tool in the suite. It is very powerful. It collects the data. It can be modified to give you any type of KPIs or insights you might want to have. The Power Virtual Agents are essentially chatbots that you can use and train and use as first-line support or even automated marketing. And the Dataverse is the specific database that the Power Platform uses. It's based on the Dynamics 365 CRM, and it supports in itself a lot of automation and operations, which kind of makes it a lot more flexible and actually makes it a part of the platform and the automations, and it's not just a simple database, not serving any other purpose than storing the data. So yeah, the Power Apps are the tools that help you quickly build very nice apps, even if you're not a professional developer. I've heard a few times that from people that, okay, drag and drop and click and point and you cannot make an app with this. Well, I'm going to show you in a moment that this is actually not true. The thing is, the Power Apps, the applications only use like a framework, so you can more or less create the interface for your app, but what stands behind the interface and the tools like Power Automate here that can actually power the application in the background is what gives you the actual value. And the thing is that it's very accessible tool, and you don't need to be, as I said before, a professional programmer, coder, super experienced mathematician or anything to start working with these things. The thing is that, you know, the low-code, no-code platforms do not aim to replace traditional coding. This is not in their line of sight. They are there to fill a certain gap between the business people and the actual coding people, because usually a business person creates some document for an application that's needed, then this is being translated to coders, then they are kind of processing it in their own heads, and after that producing a product that is a kind of interpretation of what they read, and it always makes the process more difficult. With the low-code, no-code approach, it gives the business people the ability and chance to actually directly start and create and implement the logic they want into an app, just saving them the knowledge of how to code, how to create a work frame, how to create any interface, focusing on the actual automation and results. So a little bit about our solution. It comprises of actually two apps, a Canvas app for the mobile version and the more robust and complicated model-driven version. The mobile app is supported on any mobile platform, so it doesn't mean it's not limited to Windows, Android, iPhone, or anything. There's a version for all of it. The mobile app can be used by any employee simply on their mobile phone, which is a great advantage compared to other competitors. It can use all of the sensors and features of a modern phone, starting from the camera, microphone, the gyroscopic sensors, if you wish, if you want to detect an angle or movement, for example, the GPS if you are tracking someone or something, and so on and so on, which again saves our clients just here a lot of money on buying extra equipment, and their own employees can simply use their phones. The model-driven app as well works on mobile, but it's mostly desktop-oriented, and it's more of the control room for all of the complex operations that the asset management actually requires, and what the actual strategy of managing your assets is about. So, what is Asset Insider? It's a low-code application. It's actually software using the digital twin concept, which really is something that the world talks a lot about, but it's, to me, until recently, kind of it was the hype, but not really accessible, or not even everyone knew what it was actually about. So here we heavily integrated this, and just to make things a bit clearer, brief definition of a digital twin means that it's not actually a 3D model of any object in the world. It can represent even a process, but the thing is that you have something in the physical world, and you have its representation in a digital form, meaning you have assets, location, value, physical properties, other properties or parameters it has, and actually with the modern world, with IoT, you can actually talk to it in real time. Not like before, you need a technician to go to the actual thing and see what's wrong or what's the operational status or anything. So that's why the term twin, digital twin, is not only about the actual image and the physical existence of an object. It's about also talking to it, being having it live on your screen, basically, with all its current statuses. And this is what enables you to act on the moment, or even act before something happens, having the data, having information about any changes that happen to your asset in real time. And as we know, today's companies might have 100 assets to hundreds of millions of assets, which are very difficult to control physically. even 10 items you cannot physically monitor at the same time. But if you have some software like this that takes care of those things, that actually has program parameters or action plans or maintenance plans when some events change or some conditions change, and the system automatically engages this for you, it actually saves you a lot of work and actually guarantees you're not going to miss an event or miss failure and so on and so on. So with electricity prices, gas prices currently going higher everywhere, optimization, preparation, avoidance of downtime and accidents is a very, very, very important topic these days. And each company, of course, wants to keep its assets in operational state, keep track of them, not lose them, losing money directly, not disrupting production or operations. So this is the point of asset management, basically. So what does Asset Insider do? It helps you, it controls the asset lifecycle from the demand stage, where an employee or a manager can budget next year's assets that are going to be disposed or the new ones that are going to be needed for any branch in the company or any other location. Any employee through the mobile app here can request new equipment or return out or report a broken one. So this again goes into the system, tells the manager above the provisioning, okay, this is broken, you're going to need one more, or next month we are having 2 new employees, we need to provide them with tools or laptops or even office chairs. Then the actual acquisition. When you generate this purchase order for the things that are budgeted or unbudgeted, the system creates automatically, sends it to the vendor, controlling all of the process. If you need some approvals, the user can configure them inside the app themselves. So after that, the vendor sends back the items, and then through the mobile app, the guys in the warehouse can actually receive those things just by scanning the serial number, and this way confirming the asset has arrived. It's in my hands, so it's now actually an asset in the company. Start depreciation, send a message to our ERP, for example, or integrate with the accounting systems and send them the invoice number, the value of the asset, so on and so on and so on. And then begins the operational life cycle stage of our assets, where we are, as I said earlier, the digital twins concept is the most useful. So we are always connected, not necessarily, but in the best case, we are always connected. We can follow in real time the state of our assets. If necessary, do some repairs, operations, transfers, anything is controlled on your desktop from 1 or 2 or 5 managers. And then again, when we have this data in real time, for example, I'm going to show you in the demo in a moment, if the temperature rises for an asset, it may overheat and stop working, for example, we receive the automated alarm, which actually creates a work order. This work order is automatically sent to the people that need it to execute it. They receive notifications on their phones, on their Teams. Everything is automated. On their email, if you wish, they go, they do the job, report, and case closed. We have just evaded a major breakdown, for example. And of course, the time comes when we need to dispose of our assets. And there, the scenarios are also numerous. We can break them down to different parts. We can sell them and then report automatically to the accounting systems that we have residual value of asset X, and so on and so on. All of this without doing any actual handwork or clicking, or someone needs to remember and write down and then tell another one and then send an email to the accounting and blah, blah, blah. All of those things are taken care of. So actually, let me give you a taste of Asset Insider, how it actually looks like. So not too much speaking. This is the welcoming dashboard. As any manager, you get, when you open it, you get to see the basic current status information of all of your assets based on any criteria. We have prepared different dashboards for the different areas we have in our maintenance. For example, in the maintenance, we can see how many work orders we have last month, this month, next month. So if we have more load here, we can postpone some jobs, and so on and so on. All of this configurable. The users can make their own dashboards, bring their own filters, which is great for any working position or anyone who has different needs for working with our assets. The whole system is very flexible. Even on top of Asset Insider, we leave our customers a little space that they can modify the system themselves or produce some add-on or customization on top of Asset Insider. We can provide it for them. If they have the know-how and the knowledge, they can do it themselves. So here is our menu. As I said, we manage many processes from purchasing and acquisition to work orders, transfers, and up to the actual disposals, warranties, cost management, so on and so on and so on. But since time is really moving fast, let's go ahead, go through our assets and open one. Here you can see we have very different kind of assets, from laptops to drivetrains to distribution boards. For example, this would be like heavy machinery, one heavy motor. Let's go ahead and open the actual asset. You can see we can have photos. We have a few availability statuses. So if it's in transit for one operation, it cannot be reserved in the other. So we cannot have conflicts. We are grouping them by categories, which are actually what makes a difference, the category laptops between, for example, motors. And for each category, we keep the actually the parameters that are that the asset itself has. We can have 3D models. We can, for this, someone can explore and check any detail on the machine, even if they don't know it. You just simply go here, zoom in, check, okay, I have this bolt here, so it's this size, and so on and so on. Of course, this is demo data. But if you have a 3D model of your asset in front of you and you're not there, for example, here we have the possibility of remote assistance. So someone with the whole Microsoft HoloLens virtual glasses can be guided from our office to do some simple jobs or more complex repairs. As we said, we keep all the information inside for the asset. So we know when it was purchased. This is direct link to the order, invoicing info if you wish. We support warranty, extended warranty, and so on and so on. We actually predict the life cycle of the asset, and based on these events, some automations may occur later. In the timeline, we keep, again, all the information from the purchase, the operational life cycle, up to the disposal of the asset. So at any given point in time, you have the full history of your asset. Costs, of course, and the most important part, as we said, the parameters and the maintenance. With the parameters, we can set what exact properties of an asset we are going to follow. And in this case, let's imagine that's a huge motor that has, we are monitoring the voltage in it. And when this value, for example, because this is a dynamic parameter, and it actually comes from our Azure IoT hub, where we have set up the IoT sensor in this device, and we're receiving the data from it. So you can see even right now at 27:28, some telemetry was sent, and the energy, the power reading, and so on and so on. These are received by Asset Insider, and you can see this is, again, a very friendly interface. It's not super difficult to create an IoT device and connect it to Asset Insider and start sending data. And if the IoT device is bidirectional, we can actually send commands to it from Asset Insider. For example, if it has a cooling module, if the temperature reaches over 60, we can start the cooling automatically just by defining a simple rule here in our maintenance part. So here, again, based on those parameters here, we have defined a few maintenance plans. So we have 1,000 hours maintenance. So whenever the machine has been working for 1,000 hours, creates an automated work order for someone to go and do the actual plant work. Again, you can schedule 1 year maintenance in 3 months, 1 week before the actual warranty of the asset expires, and this is so flexible that you can manage any possible scenario for your asset. I'm just going to go back to the Azure part. Here we have our rules. We have one rule: if the power is too high, someone needs to review. And basically what this says, whenever the power from the IoT sensor is greater than, in this case, we put 40, email operator John and of course, this webhook send a message to our Asset Insider, where an actual flow, this is our flow, one Power Automate flow, which is waiting for such messages and receiving them and interpreting them and triggering the actual work order generation and responding to the scenario for inspection whenever alert comes. All of this, again, whenever we have any alarm here in the chat, as I said, the technician gets a message automatically, of course, in their Teams and in their email, so they know something happened. The work order is created, and it's assigned to them, so they actually have their job outlined for them. So they open the order and go and see what is actually happening. And this helps us prevent a lot of problems with our assets. Here you can actually see the automatically generated work orders. I'm just going to open one. So you can see here, just by one IoT sensor sending me reading over 40 degrees for temperature, this is automatically generated. This is the device, scheduled maintenance, preventive, priority, company is set, the duration is set, automatic notification for the electricians is sent, and here you can see we even receive, we just received a live notification. Okay, it's over 40, so it's 51 degrees. Work order is created. Go and do the job stated here. So all of this is automated. You don't have to monitor anything. The system just does this for you. Then you complete the work order, and the asset is safely guarded. And even on top of that, this is the third part of actually maintenance. We have this tool called AI Builder in the Power Platform, which we can use for actually predicting such events. So when we have enough data, for example, we can create a model, train it and run it, and after that we can get results based on whatever parameters we selected. For in this case, is the possibility of overheating. So when we run this model, it will tell us, give us, for example, specific dates when, here you can see historical data overheat, specific dates that it predicts with high accuracy. Everything around 90% is considered very good prediction. And we can schedule maintenance even before the actual event has happened, which is what artificial intelligence gives us. And again, you just get this model by a few clicks. Of course, configuring it is a bit more complicated, but it's not like rocket science. And this is how we get our hands on artificial intelligence, automation, IoT things, simply by a few clicks and some settings that we can do in app. What we had heard from the previous conversations, since my time is a bit running out, I have to stress on the security part. Since Power Apps is part of the Microsoft Cloud Platform, it actually uses the Office 365 security or your Azure Active Directory security rules. So you can consider it absolutely compliant with any organization already having those. For reliability, it uses the Azure infrastructure, basically. So the expected uptime is in the rate of 99.97% worldwide. And yeah, you can count on it in any given time. As we said, it's we cover a lot of processes here. There's a lot of automations. But if someone has some interest, just please contact us and we'll help you with any information we can. And this is how very easily through a clickable and draggable interface using Asset Insider, we can help you manage your assets. And the last advantage of this platform is that, contrary to traditional software, it is open and any customizations are done probably 5 to 10 times faster compared to any other software.
Wow. Thank you, Atanas. It was really interesting to not only to hear, but to see what is actually Ask Insider all about. And you touched upon two of my questions that I wanted to address. Is exactly this deployment time, or implementation time. How long it takes. Of course, it depends on the asset volume and processes that wants to be automated or digitized. But just give us an example of what is actually to be expected from a company that wants to undergo this process.
Again, based on scale, the actual deployment of the solution in the company's cloud tenant is about less than 1 hour. The actual configuration then can take anything from a few hours to a few days in the simplest scenarios. Then we have some data to transfer, master data to transfer from their old solution, or even if they have some database or Excel files, which is not a problem, or we can integrate with their ERP or other systems to again transfer the data. So for something like a company with probably 5,000 assets and 10 people that are operating them, anything between a week and a month maximum is doable.
Wow, great. And that's pretty important. So when we talk about something already spoken in the previous presentations, speed. Everyone is afraid of undergoing such processes because he thinks it will take a lot of time and, of course, a lot of money and budget. What I see here, and I know from having the opportunity to working with you, is that Ask Insider is not only a solution that can be deployed to some extent faster than other ones, and also it's quite affordable in terms of using the low code and other open source.
The speed that we develop gives us the edge on pricing. So since we spent less time in development, or we are a lot quicker developing new functionalities and putting them into use for the customers, obviously affects the pricing. The expectations of people are already a bit harmed by heavy installations of ERP systems like SAP or Dynamics, and all the data migration, and these things becomes from 3 months project to 3 years, and it's not even finished. We are far from that, and Asset Insider is not meant to replace those systems. It's meant to actually
work with them.
Give them more value, complement them. And even if the whole ERP is not in place, Asset Insider can still be there, start working, give you value, in the matter of 2 weeks. And whenever the ERP is finished, we can simply transfer the data to the ERP. And there we go. The time to value is really short.
That's really important. That's why it was a real pleasure to have you as a team on the conference, and just show in a practice that a quite good degree of digitization of an enterprise is achievable within a very reasonable period of time, and with much more optimized budget than, as you already mentioned, implementing some heavy systems within the company. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing with us your experience. Everyone from the attendees and registered people, we're going to receive your presentation and, of course, the video with the recording. But as you already said, if everyone wants to learn more about Ask Insider, just please find Atanas or Angie on LinkedIn, connect them, or write them an email. So thank you once again, and have a great Saturday from everyone.
Thanks as well for your time and attention. Have a great Saturday following the rest of the presentations.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.